me find myself. Excuse me. Oh, I can't find myself. How are we? Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? There I am. There I am. Let's turn the volume down. Swipe left. There we go. Oh, hello. It's absolutely muggy as anything in here today. Woof! Mario! Oh, my bestie. Hello, my darling. Ted's in. Greetings, Ted. Greetings. Oh, look at all the other people in as well. Mario, you were quick today. Jessica's in. Denise is in. Makers, your stuff will get to you eventually. we're not sure what happened. Sorry about that. You haven't been like dropped. It's just, it'll get there. Patty's in. Oh my goodness me. It's just so hot. Look at everybody. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Are we excited? I'm excited. Oh, I'm not half excited. Really, really excited, but it's just so warm. So, oh, Diane Mosh is in the UK on vacation. Wow. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Look at all the people that are in. Mimosa Girl's in, Germany's in, Netherlands is in, Canada's in, Minnesota's in. What made you think there'll be mushrooms? We don't call them mushrooms. We call them toadstools. Mushrooms are brown, and you. Oh, that's good, Denise. That's good. Marilyn's in. It's lovely to see you as well, Mario. I will be ringing from next week, so Miranda's in. A lot of the makers are in. They're like, we have no idea what it is. Normally they have some idea. And Kathy's in from Range. Gosh, it's I'm honestly, I am just what do you think? Do you think my art that excuse me, I think you love me. Hello everybody, hello, hello, hello. So Ranger's in, Stampers Anonymous is in, Mario's in. So exciting, isn't it? I fly. Emmy is picking me up at 3:30 in the morning. It's 5 p.m. here now, and she's picking me up at 8:30 in the morning. I have no makeup on because it's too hot. It's just solid off my face. So you're having, do I care? No, you know me. I've had my hair done, but yeah. This is a Lazy Oaf. I love Lazy Oaf. It's an independent company in the UK. You know, all the ones that I have with the happy sad face, I have all those. So it's one of theirs. But I haven't worn a shirt for ages. It's wet here, but it's not cold. It's wet and really, 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 really muggy. So, oh, Tim's in too. Where did I miss him? How could you miss Tim? I don't know. I took my eyes off the ball. Tim, hello, hello, hello. Oh, Ben's in as well. Ben's in. Ben said it's not hot. Ben's taken the week off to go to Whitby on holiday with the kids, because our town, we have the biggest agricultural show. So the town practically closes because nobody can get anywhere. So we've closed the shop. So Ben's gone to Whitby, and it was red hot on Monday. And then he sent me a photo yesterday, and it was like, it was just bouncing down. So, but it is warm here. So, but he's saying it's not there. But yeah, muggy as all hell, as Shell would say. So yeah, wonderful. Where do we get the doodle line of clothing? It's Lazy Oaf. Okay, right then. How are we doing? I'll just give you a few more minutes. I've just been packing my bags. I tell you, I do it every time, don't I? I've been teaching. I was teaching till last night, trying to get some retailer things done, trying to get all the classes prepped. We had to do a lot of stamping for the classes in Stampers Anonymous, and a launch, you know, 10 hours before I leave. And I'm always like, who's done this? Whose fault is this? And then it's like, oh yes, it's me. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. But there you go, you know. So it's an exciting one, this one. Very, very exciting. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, and then I will reveal all to you. Something totally new for me. A little bit scary for me as well. And I'm glad Tim's in, because it's his fault. It's his fault. Because he said, I think you should do it. He persuaded me. So, yeah. So we'll see. It's just something that just a new venture for me. So, but it's exciting. It's very, very exciting. And I will be doing a separate video for you about it. Okay. So, oh, Elizabeth. Oh, she had the wrong class. Don't worry, we've got a break now till Saturday, Elizabeth. Yes, everything is Tim's fault, obviously. It's usually really good though. So it's usually really, really good. Oh my gosh, I've got my Arizona mug today. There you go. I must have known that Tim and Mario would be on, because there's my Arizona mug that I'm drinking out of. So, okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Let's go. Let's go. So, this is a Stampers Anonymous release, which means there is stamps, okay? But it's also a Spellbinders release. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It only means dies. Dies. Okay, so we have 4 stamp sets, which I'm really, really, really excited about. And they have matching dies to go with them as well. Okay, and you can get them from Stampers Anonymous, obviously, and the dies. You can get them from Ranger and the dies, and you can get them from Spellbinders and the stamps. Okay, in the UK, Ben already has them. Art from the Heart has them. He no doubt will be putting bundles on. Most people are sort of doing different bundles. So now a little tale about dies and why Tim sort of gave me a big shove and persuaded me was, I love footy cutting. I absolutely love it. I don't understand. Hi Ted, hello. Oh, was that not you earlier? Who was in? Was it Tom? Oh, I wonder if it was Tom. Sorry Tom if I called you Ted. I love fussy cutting. I can think of nothing better than having a big pile of fussy cutting to do. And Emmy's exactly the same. So me and Emmy will sit for hours cutting. So I've never really done much with dies before. I used to use, years back, some of Tim's little ornaments ones. And there was quite a renowned video that I made where I took one of his stars and then I sat on it and glued all the wrong bits together. And I'm sure if you look somewhere on YouTube, you'll find it there. But I'm just not, because I just like, you know, when you like something, you know, if you really like gardening, you wouldn't employ a gardener. If you really like painting, you wouldn't employ a decorator. So I like cutting out. So people over the years have said to me, please do dies, please do dies. And I'm like, it's not really my thing, you know, and I cut out and I don't feel I could be very authentic about it. And so I was chatting to Tim about this, and he just said, you know, you are authentic even if you don't use them, because you're saying well, I don't really use it. Miss Lee, hello. Saying, you know, that you don't really use it, but I am going to try. So when I get to America, Patty is going to give me a lesson and we're going to film it. So that should be hilarious, shouldn't it? So she's going to give me a lesson to do it. Now, I have had a go and it's fine. Now, I find, and this is probably wrong, but I had more success if I die cut the shapes and then stamped on them. But I think most people do it the other way around. I think most people stamp and then die cut. So I do have a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn. And Emmy was the same as me. But Jay did loads. Jay wisdom through the machines. She was amazing and doing. So, you know, we'll see, won't we? And we'll just have a try. And if you love it, I'll do more. If you love it, I will do more. It's not going to be for every stamp set, because a lot of my stamp sets are quite big, the people and things like that. And they're, you know, I feel you don't really need to die cut those kind of. So we're just going to do with, you know, I'm just going to go slow to start with and just do certain ones. So, do you want to see? Do you want to look at that? Patty's saying I've got to pay attention. How rude. Rude, Patty, as if I don't. Jennifer's saying it won't be me if I did it in the right order. Yes, I don't have a clue. I really don't have a clue. But I'm willing to learn. And that's the thing, isn't it? I'm willing to learn. And if I don't like it, I can fussy cut, you know. So, right, here we go. So, 4 stamp sets. Okay. And each one of these stamp sets has a matching die set. So I'm going to show you the stamp. I'm going to show you the die set. And I'm going to do it like that, okay? So the first one is called Gnome Sweet Home. And we have Mavis and Arthur. There we go. There's Mavis there. And Arthur. The little garden gnomes, okay? So they're there. They've got their denim on. They've got the dungarees. And then they've got a little bucket and spade, just in case. They're doing their little gardening. And then we have some different flowers on. And you might notice the flowers have got like little smiley centres you can use as well. So that one is, it's just called Gnome Sweet Home, Gnome, but this is Mavis and this is Arthur. Okay, so this comes unweeded. Do you remember I've spoken to you before? Oh, my snail's missing, but this is how a lot of stamps come. But when there's lots of little bits, they come like this. So this isn't peeled off because you could lose these. All you have to do, if you don't want it like that, is just to lift this and peel it. You can peel that all off, but I just find I like it to be on there like that. Okay, so there we are. Now, this is the dies here. And because my stamps are big, when you see them, they're not at actual size. The images are not at actual size. And then it shows you, that's where the die cuts, where that little red line is. So this is the die set for that one. Okay, so this is Gnome Sweet Gnome. And as I say, Stampers Anonymous will have stamps and dies. Ranger have stamps and dies. Spellbinders will have stamps and dies. In the UK, Art from the Heart has got them already. Everybody else, they're on the way. If you are a store, the comments go so quick. Pop, you know, just put your thing in the store and say if they're on the way, have you ordered them, and so people know where else to get them as well. Okay, so that's that one. That's Gnome Sweet Gnome. And then Mavis and Arthur have to have somewhere to live, don't they? This young, happy couple. So we have Toadstool Tales. So there's their little house. But I'm not quite sure how they fit in it, actually, because they're rather large. It's a bit like Alice in Wonderland, you know. They shrink to go into the house. So this is Toadstool Tales. And so we have this big toadstool here that you can sort of, and you can cut it up. You can use it for all sorts. We have the gorgeous snail. Okay. Silas the snail, which is missing off the back here. I don't know where he is. And then we have a lovely toadstool, separate toadstool here. You can cut all these out separate. We have this toadstool here. And then we've got some cat toadstools. So some cat stools, not toadstools. So we've got the little toadstool bottom and then we've got the little cat heads. Okay. So I've turned them into little cats. And look at this, look at Silas. He's got a toadstool head. And of course you can swap them around. You could put the cat's head down here. You know what I'm like, I can move everything. So there we have the dies to match. Okay, I'm really intrigued how they fit them all inside each other, because I got them like this. I just got them in a pack like that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, but what do we do? But they come like this. Okay, and then you can trim them down if you want, I suppose, but it's up to you. So that's Toadstool tails, all right. And then they had some, well, I don't know, they had some little children. So that's some little babies. So this is No Place Like Gnome. So there's the little kiddywinks. They're a bit old kiddywinks, aren't they, with these big beards? But that's the kiddywinks. And do you know, I haven't named them yet. I'll have to come up with some names for them. And so we have two little background stamps here. And then this is just, these are just so useful. So, and again, you'll see how we used them. And then we've got the three little gnomes there. So that's, there's No Place Like Gnome. Okay. And there we go. There are the matching dies. I think this looks like a big pair of angel wings, doesn't it? But it's the actual fronds. Should we call them fronds? Okay. That might be at actual size. That one might be at actual size. It's the other ones. Okay. And then the very last, the last one we've got here is... do you remember at Christmas when I brought out Bobbing Along and it had the little robins on, and everybody loved the little robins and went mad? So I thought, do you know what? They need to come out of Christmas and they need to be here all year round. So they've grown slightly. They've grown long legs, and we have robin couture. Okay? So we have two robins. Now, if you remember, the Christmas robins had big hats on. They had Christmas hats. So what I've done here, I've given them longer legs. They can be all interchangeable. And I've called it couture because I've given them lots of accessories. So they have scarves, they have bow ties, they have hats, there's a crown, there's a tie, there's mittens here, earmuffs. Look at these, two lots of earmuffs, all sorts. And they will fit the Christmas ones as well. Okay. So robin couture. And I think this is where, like, dies really come, because look, they're so tiny. Again, this isn't weeded. So these two stamp sets are weeded because, you know, they're quite big. But these two that have got the little bits in, I just keep them like this. And then I would just pop it out, use it, and then you've got a place to put it back in. Okay, so that's that one. And there is the dies. That one. Now you'll notice I've got them going in opposite directions. I did that with the Christmas as well. So you can, if you've got the Christmas ones, you'll have two going in one direction, two going in another direction, and all the accessories will fit together. But you can also put all these accessories on the snail, on the little gnomes, etc. Okay, so that's it. That's what we've got today, and I cannot tell you how many samples I have got done. So I'm going to whiz on to the samples. Okay, so 4 stamp sets. I'll go over them again at the end. So basically, Mavis and Arthur fell in love, bought a house, had kids, and adopted 2 robins. It's, you know, it's like Romeo and Juliet, but it's like a new modern version. So I'm going to flip you around. Okay. If I lose you, I'll be back shortly. Oh, hang on. Oh, I can never remember on this one. Here we go. There we are. I didn't lose you. Hallelujah. So I'm going to start because I was with Spellbinders and I was looking at Spellbinders stuff, and there's a lot of card makers. They do a lot of cards on there. I'm sorry about this glare. They do a lot of cards on there. And so I made a lot of cards and tags. Okay, a lot of cards and tags. So I shall show you them. When I say I made them, I think Jay made a lot as well. I did most of the journal pages, but Jay made a lot of the cards. Chris, somewhere there is an Art from the Heart link. Ben's done it. He might have time to do it again. I'm not sure. He's on his jollies. But otherwise, just go look under new. Thank you, Ted. Thank you. Oh, you're loving them. I was very nervous because I'm not known for my die cutting skills, as you know, so I was very, very nervous, but it looks as though Mr. Tim was right. He'll go far, won't he? He'll go far. Right, anyway, so I did a load of, we did a load of cards and tags as well, so I'm going to show you those first, okay? So we'd made backgrounds. We made loads and loads of backgrounds, and then we just cut the backgrounds up to use. So here we've got two of the little kids, and of course, you know, they can be really, really sweet and nice, or like me, you know, once upon a time I didn't care, the end. So, you know, I don't think Spellbinders will maybe put them on their website. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So here we are. We've got two of the snails. So he's hitching a ride on the back of the snail. We've added the little flower in there as well, and it just says, hey, train wreck, this is your station. Oh, I need to go up a bit. Sorry. Is that better? Let me tip that way. I'm backwards. Why am I backwards? Oh, goodness me. One memento. Ping. I don't know why I'm backwards. It was fine to start with. There we go. Look at that. I leapt into action and it worked. Unbelievable. It was right when I had it the first time. It's so strange, isn't it? Anyway, there you go. Right, here they are, the happy couple. This is, you can tell Jay's coloured this one, can't you? You can always tell when Jay has done her lovely colouring. So that's the newlyweds. That's the frame they have on their mantelpiece. Okay, and it just says at the moment because they seem very happy. Okay, you can tell this is one of mine because it says I'm too sober for this shit. But there you go, you know. So we have a little cat stool, a toadstool. We have a little King Robin. So just little cards. This is using some of the old toadstools because you can get the old toadstools back up. Because remember, you can get the old stamps at Stampers Anonymous. You know, you can buy the full back catalogue. So I've done some bringing in the old ones as well. So and I've put the Silas on there. And it's like, I'm not trouble. I'm just a challenge to handle. Again, another one. This is one of the older stamps, and this, oh, remember this? Love it. And it's like, giddy up, sparkle pants, there's chaos to spread. Oh, I forgot, I was going to put some of my Dylusions stickles on there because it's sparkle pants, and I was just going to give him some little sparkly pants. So there we have them. We've just added some of the different flowers. Now this one, I like to do this. When you've got big stamps, a lot of people complain about my big stamps and they're like, oh, you can't use them for cards and things. You don't have to use the whole stamp. So that's the whole stamp. And can you see all I've done is cut it. I've just cut it in half and then I've used two halves. You'll see I do it this way as well. You know, so never look. If you're a card maker and you're like, oh, Diane's stamps are much too big, you can always alter them down. So you can see I cut it in half and then I've put one half this side, one half this side. Added another one of the cats on, little cat up there, and he's saying so much to do, so little people to do it for me. Luckily I have people to do it for me. I have Emmy and Jay. People. So here's one where I've cut it the other way. Again, can you see? So I've cut it off at that band and Silas is sat on the top of it. So you can use, you know, you can use half, you can use that half. There's all sorts that you can do. And Silas is saying the key word is alleged. Couple more cards, and then I've got some tags. Good morning, no such thing. Okay, so we've got the flowers, we've got the cat stools on there. Oh, another one, same. Oh, Jay did this one. Isn't that weird? I did that one, Jay did this one, and they're quite similar. So you can change around, and if you like this but you don't do cards, cut that off. That would make a great topper in your journal, you know. So here's another one. I've enjoyed not hearing from you. So that's a pile of cards that we've got, and all of these will be online. Emmy has been putting them all up for you to see. Okay, so then we've got some of the tags, and these are all with the robins. Because I just wanted to show you them in different outfits, because you might look on here and think, oh, what are some of those outfits? So here is the first one. Okay, this says I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a thing to wear, which I think, if I recall rightly, is Smith's lyrics, isn't it? Morrissey. So here you can see where I've altered them. They're quite plain. I've added stripes here. I've added circles in here. I've added checks to this hat. I've added diamonds to this hat. And there's his some of his earphones, some of his gloves, everything. So he's got some of his outfits on there. So here he is, ready to go out on the town. Okay, he's got his hat and his matching tie, and his tie goes here. You may wonder where a robin has a tie, but his tie goes on there. There's little Silas at the bottom, and he's saying, so many village idiots, so few dragons. I think he's implying that Silas is a bit of a village idiot there, but he does look a little simple folk, doesn't he? And again, I've put some circles in, okay? This one here, I cut Arthur in half, straight down the middle. He didn't feel a thing, okay? And I've just kept the robin quite brown. Now, can you see he's in his sandcastle? He's at the beach, and can you see what he's made his sandcastle out of? He's only made it out of the top of the blooming Toadstool house. So he's got his little sandcastle down there, and it says, "I believe in annoyed at first sight." So, yep. What else have we got here? The Queen is not amused. So I stamped in the background. I stamped the frill in the background, coloured that in. And these are just tags that we have lying around that we made many moons ago. And when we make tags and things, we just pick up whatever we've got and just use them. So we go with any colour scheme there is. Okay. So this time I've turned him pink. I've turned him into a her. She's got pink. I've turned the toadstool upside down for him to stand on. Got the little, and he's saying, the Queen is not amused. 2 more tags, okay. So this one here, this has got some blocking in the background. So we've got Silas, and the robin is sat on the onto Silas. He's got some of these which you can trim. You know, you don't have to use the whole thing. You can just trim them all up. And then he's got his many hats on. Well, she's got her many hats on. These are the many hats she wears. She's got her headphones in or her earmuffs in to block out the noise. And it just says, my work here is done. And then the last one of the tags. Okay, what I did with them this time, I stamped it in the background and I've coloured it in with my dust. Can you see? I've just coloured in with dust. And then I've got 2 of the robins. I cut one of the legs. Cut the legs so it was sitting, and this one's got a little flower in its beak, some more little flowers down here, and again, I'm too sober for this shit. So yeah, and this was ghosted. So there you go. I'm sorry if I offend anybody with some of my back chat, but there's worse to come. So anyway, so those are the like tags and things, and then I'm into the journals. There's one in this journal. I don't know why there's only one, but there's one in this journal. There you go. And this was a J. And she's made like a little Rapunzel. So what she did was she took the little girl there, and then she took, where's the flower? Hang on. There. She took the stem, and it's like the hair. So she kept cutting the stem out and having it come down the side. So she's got the house on the steps. So got 1 step, 2 step, and there's the other half of Arthur. Okay? And she's saying, once upon a time, I didn't care, the end. And he's saying, that sounds like a you problem. So there's that one there. And then in this black book, she did a couple in here as well. So we have this one. So this one is on blocking, on the background blocking. And we used these as branches, okay? I coloured this one. So Jay did this, and then I coloured it in. So we've used them as branches. So we've got a couple of the snails going along, and we've got a couple of things. And he's saying, I'm not saying it's you, but it's definitely not me. Okay. And then another one there. Again, this is a J, and we've got Mavis and Arthur there. We've got a couple of flowers. This time we've put them there. And she's saying, and yet, despite the look on my face, you're still talking. So those are 2 rogue journals, okay? And then we come into the heavy stuff. There's loads. Are you ready for this? There's loads. So I've got a piece of card to cover some of them up, so you know, so it's not too confusing. Okay, so here we have a little town. We have a big flower at the back that is made from the Crazy Paving stencil. So here we have the toadstool going on, the flowers in the background. He's peeping out behind those toadstools. There's Silas, and there's a little cat coming over the top. And I just made that one really, really quite bright, really. These are the stamps from the last release. Whenever I release stamps, I always try and concentrate on those, but I always sneak other ones in as well. Okay, so what have we got here? Here we go. This is another one where I was using the Crazy Paving stencil. So you can see where I've made two big flowers at the background. And again, some of the little ones down here, Silas. And then I've got the robin standing on the top hat there. And put a little smiley face in front of the flower. So these were pages that I did before using the Crazy Paving stencil. And then I just added things too. You don't have to start from scratch. I'm trying to I just want to show you one at a time, because otherwise it gets a bit confusing, doesn't it? So this one here, we've got Mavis and Arthur, okay, and again they've got all their accessories, and I put here it's not sure what to wear. So he's wearing both gloves, but as you can see, one mitten is bigger than the other because they were for two different size robins. These are like clothes rails, so I've got all the scarves hanging off the clothes rails and the hats and the ear warmers, and then we've just added some toadstools around as well. Okay, so not quite nice and really bright, and then we go poof to a black page. All right, and the black page here, what I did was I used the stamp block to draw the shape with, and then I've used the dust. You can see I've coloured in with the dust, so as I turn it you can see the gorgeous shimmer. Okay, and then I just popped one of the toadstools on and I cut it to match. So I just, you know, angled the bottom to match, and I didn't do that in the dust, I kept that there. And it's like, I don't want to go big, I just want to go home. That's usually me at the end of a tour. I don't want to go big, I just want to go home. Okay, but look at the combination of the two together. You know, you've got the really bright sort of colourful one, and then you've got this gorgeous, gorgeous shimmery one as well, that you can do just using a combination of stencils. But you know, the way, by changing the colour, this is no longer looks like a leaf or anything. It just is used more as a branch. Okay, so I have to flick through. Oh, two more. There we go. When there's two together, I'm just, so it's not too much for you. Now this page was me cleaning up. So it's just taking all these at the end of a session and cleaning up. And this was at the end of a session when I was using all the cocktail paint. So it's really, really bright. So it's very hard to, you know, what to put on top of these. So I used the little stamp here. And then these leaves were from, not the last collection, the collection before, these leaves. And these, all these little leaves are these, just to expand it out. I stamped directly onto the page here, and then these are all cut out and popping on. Silas loves hanging out with the kids, he just loves it. And then this page here was a doodle page, which I did on an aeroplane. I think I might have taught this page in the doodle class as well. So I just had this page and I was like, what am I going to put on it? So again, I've used the large and small. What I like, the reason I did them both ways is they can look together as though they're chatting, or you can have them back to back as though they've fallen out, which is quite cool to do. So this is from one of the hexagon stamps. So I just had him standing a bit higher, and he's got the little bucket and spade, and he's saying, I dislike you less than most. So is that a compliment? We're not quite sure, are we? We're just not quite sure. But again, you can see, just because you've got these strong backgrounds, you can still do things with them as well. So this one here, I cut the whole first. These were from the last release. These were the long leaves, the longer the leaf, okay? And for some reason, I must have used his body somewhere else. So I had Arthur's legs left. So I cut a little window and I had Arthur standing on the top of the window. and just coloured them in. And she's saying, I'm looking forward to your visit being over. So there you go. And then that will be the back of the page. But again, you can see through to... Oh, I love this one. I love this one. I made a little robin clock. I'm just going to turn this fan off because it's just gone. It's just suddenly gone ever so chilly. So I'm just going to pull that too. Ooh. So we have a little robin clock here. So this is the square stamp block. Okay, the square stamp block there. And what I did was I just stamped 12 of the little flower, because I can buy myself flowers. So I stamped 12 of those and positioned them around and wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then we've used the robin. He's clutching a tea bag. Okay, he's clutching a tea bag there. And, you know, it's like, what time is it for tea? Oh, anytime. Everything stops for tea. So again, it's going back and using all, you know, the old stamps. These were the first stamps I did after the pandemic, weren't they? So I've gone back and I've just made a little clock there. He's got his little glove on, and it, you know, it's just a little brad to make it go round. So everything stops for tea. You can see it peeping through there. That's using the jigsaw stencil. So again, I've put them on the branches. So these are the Christmas robins. These are from Bobbing Along. So you can see these were the original ones that you all fell in love with. So I just made a bigger version and gave them longer legs and gave them lots of accessories. So these come with the hats. These you can just mix and match everything up. Okay. So, and she's saying the wrapping is lovely, but the box is empty, which is a very sarcastic way of saying that you're not quite all there. So there you go. So if you've got the old ones, you can, you know, you can mix and match them up together. All right. Christmas, 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 Christmas. Oh, there's the robin. That's the little ones again, you see. So here we go. So Mavis is on her own there. And again, this is the small stencil, the small crazy paving. So I wrote in there, I just wrote, and then this is the little box from the last release with the little flower in. And then because this is the, not the little flower, the little face, because this is the ledger, it's got lines, so I just put some checks inside and I just added some on the top. And I was writing about Alice in Wonderland there, so I used the quote, the secret, Alice, is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. She makes my heart smile. And again, these are from older classes and things, so you can see bits through. Oh, here he is again. Here's Arthur on his own. So this is obviously a cutout page. So I what I did on this page was I drew a frame, and then I drew, this is on my on point stencil, decorated this side, put him on a little pedestal and cut those out. Okay, and it says, my give a shit fairy just died. So there you go. And again, you can see through, and when it comes this way, you'll be able to see through. And this is just my doodling. You see, that's what a page looks like. Do you remember I said at the beginning, I did that page? So that's how I did it, but this one's got black on as well. So I just clean up. I just take these and I just clean up at the end of the day. Okay, so previous, I think that's it. That's it in that book. So let's go to the newer, larger ledger. If you are coming to Stampers Anonymous weekend in about 3 weeks, we will be doing tons of this. Tons and tons, and we're working in this large journal as well. So we'll be doing absolutely tons. Okay, so let's see where we're starting here. Where's my piece? And of course, you'll see soon, I'll be mixing them all up together. I'll be mixing everything together. Where's the first one? Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to write, this is the ledger journal, I wanted to write, so what I did was I took the small crazy paving stencil, I just put some flowers round the edge, and then I just wrote I just wrote whatever I was writing inside. And then this is just... Now, I could put something else on top of there. If you don't like your writing, you could put something. But I just liked it like that. But I just added Silas on the bottom. Okay. And what I was saying like before, I have loads of pages like this that I've maybe done samples for and shown. And then I'll just pick them and I'll just use them. You'll see further on in the book where we've used one of those pages. So, hang on. I put these in and then I always forget to look for them. There we go. So, this was on the back of this one where we had a little window. So, again, the leaves from the one before. Again, I've cut the house in half. Can you see how it's just so useful? I could have made a small house, but I didn't want a small house. I like a big house. But even on cards, you can just still use part of it, you know. So... cut it in half, put one at either side. I've got the little cats peeping through, little cat up there peeping through, and it just says, I have no patience for people who aren't completely delighted by me. And there you go. That's what we have to say. So, I can't wait to put this head on that body. I really can't. Where are we? There's another one ready to do. You see. There we go. We've got two here. Right. So here's another one where I've used that stencil in the background. This is the Crazy Paving stencil. I've used it straight on the page. This was one of the small leaves from last time. We've got the little family, and it just says our family is just 1 tent away from a full-blown circus, which is, again, a polite way of saying the very special, okay? And then there's the little robin. She's sat on the flower. So a little robin up there. And the reason she's blue is because I did some blue down here and I just wanted to tie the whole thing in. And this time I've put these in as the stems of the little flowers, okay? And then this page here is done with the big, do you remember the big square stamps that I did? Because you know me, I like to bring everything together. So this is stamped using the new ink, so we get the two-tone. So this is stamped there as like a backdrop, and then I just drew in the squares afterwards, because obviously the ledger journal, the squares are there. And then I've put Mavis and Arthur in there. They're in the grass, they're in the garden, they're in the grass, they're in the flowers, they're hiding, and they're saying, I want to be where the people aren't. Okay, so we have a couple of nice pages there. See, I have loads of pages. When you open my books, there's always loads and loads of pages like this. I can put stuff on this one. I can put stuff on blank ones. I always have pages ready. It's very rare that I start with new pages. Okay, so here's another page, and you can actually see another page coming through, can't you? So this is on a grid page. As you can see, I've used the cocktail paints here. I've cut a window. Now, there's the full one of... the house, the Toadstool house, and that's half of one. So that's the top one. So remember when we had the cards and we had, there we go. So that's the bottom. If I did that, can you see? There we go. That fits on there like that. So, you know, cut your things up, make them fit and do. And then I added loads of these on, and it looked a bit odd, so I popped one coming across the top as well, and I really liked that. Silas is sat on the top, and of course you can see through, and you can see one of the robins in the background there. So if we look at him, I've got nothing on the back yet. And here, do you remember me saying where I did that page where we just stamped? That was a demo when I was showing off the inks, and these are some of my square stamps. So this was the page. I did one page in warms and I did one page in cools. So I just used the pages that are already there. People are always saying, what do you do with these pages? Just put stuff on them. It doesn't matter. So again, I've got 2 branches coming out. I've sort of mirrored them a little bit. They've got the little loads of toadstools at the bottom and Silas. And it just says, you constantly amaze me. Unfortunately, not in a good way. So there you go. Okay, but I just like little peeks of things coming through. This one I haven't coloured, and I don't know, I can't decide if I'm going to colour it or not. So this is on a very heavily doodled background, because we all know I do love to do my doodling. So very heavily doodled. So I haven't decided. If I do colour, I will colour in opposites. So like greens and blues to make it pop, okay? But again, we've just used the flowers. There's another bottom of the house. So just the bottom, we've used it as a little stepping stool. We've got more cats popping round. Just says, I wonder if people look both ways before getting on my nerves. Okay, not many to go now. You're all right. We can breathe. This one here, this stamp is from the last release. 1 minute. This is from the release with Stevie Baby. This one, here we go. Okay. So I'd already stamped that right round the edge of the page some other time, because again you can see where I go in and stamp. So I'd already stamped that. So then I was like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. And I thought, do you know what? I've already got a border. Let's make a border with the stem, the pigtail. So I just did one top bottom, made a border, had those in, and then I just wrote. I love to write, so I wrote in it, and I just made a smaller page by just adding the little things in. And then I still had these big circles, so I just took the two faces. You see, this face fits the smaller flower, this face fits the bigger flower, this face fits this one. But I didn't draw them on, so it's up to you whether you use them or not. So what I did was I just alternated them round, and I've just got a little facey border. So yeah, so this one here, you can see through it. This is a page that I did in a class, but look, you can see through, you can see it coming. This is what I love about them, and you can see it this way. So this is what I would call a heavily doodled page, you know what I'm like. So this one I kept sort of quite plain. I kept the background quite plain there. This is using stamps. I've stamped already the background from Get Your Rocks On. This is the urchins stencil, and again I've got the little house down here, and we've got a tree branch. So two of them are up there, two of them are playing up on the tree branch, and she's like, where are they? They need to come home for tea, and they're saying everything is better when you decide you don't care. So, but you can just see them, you know, popping through. Okay, what have we got left? 1, 2, 3. 3 left. It might be 3, it might be 4, it might be an extra. So there's another one where I do the cutting out, so you can see, you can flip them through. Here we go. Oh, it's a cutout one. Okay, let me put the piece of paper under first, because it can be quite, this is a double-sided page. Okay, so again I have decorated the background of the page, and then I've used the small, actually I think I put these on first. I think I fitted half, like 3/4 of a house, another half a house there with, oh, that's, so there's the one where we've got half of Arthur. Okay, and the different bits sat on, and these, and then once I'd got them stuck on, I used the street map stencil to do this, and then I cut it out. Okay, and it's actually looking onto this page, which is a very busy page, but it's looking onto it like that. Okay, so you can see. And then I did the back, and I did them on the same day. So the back of the page is quite heavily stenciled, so I went with the colours that sort of matched in here, and just added loads. Just went to town and added loads and loads. There will be some classes. I'll be doing a lot of this at the Stampers Anonymous weekend in 2 weekends. There's also an online class. We haven't announced it yet, but I think that's the 8th of August, where we'll be making loads of the cards and tags. And then I will also be doing classes with all this. But there'll be, all the samples will be up for you to see. There must be one more. Oh, this is the last one. Oh no, that's Stevie Baby. That's not. That's the last lot. So there you go. That is all the samples that I'm trying to get one using the little family. So I'm just going to recap on the release. Okay, remember it's on Stampers Anonymous is pinned at the bottom because they make the stamps. They are selling the stamps and the dies, and they're probably bundling them. Ranger have got the stamps and the dies. They will probably be bundling them. Spellbinders have got the, so you can go to the Spellbinders website. They have got, I think they're bundling. I don't think you can just buy them separately on there. I don't think you can buy just the stamp or just the die, where others can. So they've got them. And if you're in the UK, Ben at Art from the Heart has got them all. So now Ben is, as I said, he's away on holiday. They will all ship out on Monday. Okay, when Ben gets back, Art from the Heart will ship everything out. So they've got, you know, good supplies of them. And then I've seen people pop up who I know have got stores. So go back and look through, or just put a question. Just put a question on the, look, Doeding, you see, Doeding in the Netherlands, they will have them. Just put a question and just say, where's my local store? You know, oh my gosh, my brain's not working. I've seen so many stores pop up. So just again, before we go off, make them, you know, come off. So, I mean, drop your link if you want to on there. So let's go back through. So we have the 4 stamps and the 4 die sets. And I just seen Lisa say what mine finally made you do it. It was Mr. Holtz. Mr. Holtz. But I think Ben had been on at me for a while as well. And then I had been asked before about 6-7 years ago, and they were like, that's it. I've seen Stampistic. I knew Elizabeth was there. Courtney's normally on as well with Scrapbook Memories. I'm trying to think who else I've seen. Oh, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Tim. It's all to you. Yeah. It's all good. So we have a little story, we have a little family, and I had to really think about designing, doing you know, because it's not just my normal big people. So for example, you know, I didn't think this would be very good for dies, because the bigger, they're really easy to cut out. So I had to really think about it. So thank you for Spellbinders putting up with me, because I think they've put a bit of a they've taken a bit of a chance as well, because I was looking through their catalogue and there's nothing that looks like this. So I'm hoping it wasn't too far out for them. Anyway, we have the lovely little family. So we have Mavis and we have Arthur, and they met under the sky, you know, under the leaves, and they fell in love. Okay, they fell in love. They're little apprentice gardeners. So they have their little bucket of tools, but you can turn it into a bucket and spade as well if you're at the beach. We have some flowers here, and you could use, if you notice the plaits are all harsh, you could use the plaits as stems, and we've got all the different little flowers. And then this is the die set for those. Okay, so this is the Spellbinders die set. Now I have been told that this will go, I mean, obviously it'll go in the Spellbinders machines, but it will also go in Tim's machines as well. Okay, because the thinlets, the thin cuts. As you can tell, I know nothing about it. But Lee did give me a quick lesson and showed me. And Lee actually had them in, you know the old suitcase of Tim's, the suitcase die cut machine. She did hers. We put them through there when we were there. We were trying them out before. So anyway, so there we go. There's the happy couple. They got married and they just wanted to live happily ever after in their garden. So then they had to find a garden to live in, okay? So we've got Toadstool Tales. So this is their nice house that they put in their garden. And yes, I know they look too big to get in there, but, you know, remember, I'm delusional, so it just all works. And so they have their lovely little house. And again, there is die, you know, there's dies for them. You might think it's really big, but you can cut these off as well. You see, you can use these toadstools, you can use these toadstools. I've used the house like that. I've used the house like that. Remember, I used the top as a sand castle. I've used the house cut in half. There's Silas, lovely Silas the snail there, which you can swap his heads around. You can put the cat's heads on, you can move. You could put Silas's head on the toadstool bottom. You know me and toadstools. I do absolutely love them. So we've got some little cat's heads there because I just wanted. And again, this is the Spellbinders stamp set that there. And I think it does say, it will say somewhere, not actual side. Somewhere it'll say not actual side on the back. But anyway, that's that one. So they've got somewhere to live now. And then because they, you know, it was the pandemic and there wasn't a lot to do apart from the gardening. So they ended up having triplets. So they had 3 little gnomes. So this is No Place Like Gnome. So they had the 3 little gnomes, and you can tell it was the pandemic because the grass has grown. So the grass has grown higher. And again, you can swap these around. You can put the cat on there. It looks really funny. You can put the cat's head on there with the beard underneath. Do you see what I mean? You can mix and match them all around. Okay, so No Place Like Gnome. We've got 2 little backgrounds because I wasn't sure whether these were going to come out before Get Your Rocks On. So there's lots of backgrounds on Get Your Rocks On, but I popped 2 little ones. They look similar, but they're not. They're a different size on there. And these obviously are my worms. I love doing my worm thing. And we have, so when you cut out the these, you can see it from the front. It will look as though you're not cutting this bit out, but when you look inside, it will cut the whole thing. It'll cut the whole thing out there. Do you see? So that's No Place Like Gnome. And then the last one, I resurrected the robins from Christmas because they just went so well, and they go perfectly in this in the story. You know, they do fit. It wasn't just an extra one I put in there. So we have the large robin, we have the small robin. You can turn them into whatever birds you want, really. The Christmas ones had shorter legs and they all sort of move. Oh, yes, Steve and Silas could move in. Where's Steve? Stevie baby, where are you? Hang on. There's Stevie baby. Steve and Silas can be great chums, look. Look at that, perfect. When I'm doing a release, I do tend to concentrate mainly on the release. But now we've had the release, it's, you know, all guns fired. So this has lots and lots of accessories as well. So lots and lots of hats and things like that. So, and this is unweeded. So you can just pull this off if you want, and then you can just pop them back on. Okay, and again, it has lots and lots. And what I think would be nice as well, and you probably are way ahead of me, but you know, like all these accessories, doing them out of your scraps of paper. You know, doing all your little, look how many little gloves you can get out of there, and you know, because these are all the backgrounds that I sort of tend to make. But you could have an assortment stamped and cut out, and then you can just, you know, you can just go. So there we go. So let's see how they go. Hopefully you love them. Hopefully Spellbinders are impressed, and then hopefully we can do some more. Big thank you to Stampers Anonymous, because I must drive them up the wall because I'm just bugging them and can we do this and can we do this and can we do this? And they're always like, yes, you can, yes, you can, yes, you can. Thank you to Spellbinders for taking a chance. And, you know, hopefully it is Spellbinders release day today. And that's why we chose the day. Apparently Spellbinders does a release where they release everything. So if you go onto their website, they've got all sorts of stuff being released today. You know, so it's part of the Spellbinders sort of team there. So thank you to them. Thank you for Tim for giving me the push to do it, and thank you for Ben for giving me the push to do it, and thank you for Jay, Emmy and anybody else, Matt and Tom and everybody. Trevor, thank you to Trevor for keeping me just keeping my hair looking good when I'm there. Oh, they're not available on Spellbinders yet. Okay. There will be very shortly. Maybe they give a bit of a heads up. But there you go. So if you are a dandelion, I will be live in about a good 5 minutes in the Dandelion Club. So I shall see you there in about 10 minutes. Ranger's got all the pictures on their thing as well. You know, we send all, just because this isn't a Ranger product, I'm still a Ranger designer, so it's all, so thank you to everybody there. It's always a joint enterprise. So I felt like the Oscars then. Who have I missed? Who have I missed? Okay, so I'll see you in the Dandelion Club in a good 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Bye.
I just got a fly in.